This lecture does not have a tab inside of any of our exercises spreadsheets. Instead, please download the attached files for this lecture. They should look something like this when you download them. CSVs and TSVs and TXT files are some of the most important file types when we import data into Excel. In this lecture, we're going to download all three of these file types, and they behave slightly differently, so we're going to learn how to deal with them. So let's first start with our CSV. And if you see the Excel icon immediately pop up on your CSV file, it means that Excel is the default program for CSV files. If that's the case, all you have to do is double-click on it and it should open Excel immediately. Looks good to me. However, if you do not see the Excel icon on your CSV, you have to set Excel as your default program. To do this, you right-click on the file, go to Open With, and then choose another app. Here, we scroll to find Excel, and then we choose Always, or you might have a small checkbox that says Use this program to open these file types. However, I'm just going to click Always for now, and Excel has now become my default program for CSV files. This looks great. However, I need to take one more step before using this in Excel. I need to switch it to an Excel file type because with the .csv file type, I don't have the full functionality of Excel. So to do this, I go to File, Save As, and then use this drop-down menu to choose Excel Workbook .xlsx, which is the correct ending for an Excel workbook. Click it, and then click Save. And now if we return to our downloads, we see that the .xlsx file has been added in here. Okay. Let's import our TSV, and let's try double-clicking on it just like we did before. However, when we do this, it opens my notepad, which is not exactly what we're looking for. And if I go back, right-click, and do Open With, choose another app, I actually don't see Excel here. If you do see Excel, go ahead and try to click it. However, I don't see it right now, so we actually have to use a different method. To import a TSV, let's first go to our Excel spreadsheet. Let's go to Data, from text/CSV, go to Downloads where I know it is, and then choose the TSV import. When I click Import, Excel will bring up this import wizard. Basically, what it's asking is, what delimiter should we use in order to import this data into Excel? Well, Excel already knows that we're using tab as a delimiter in this file, so there's actually not much that we need to do. We can just click Load, and now Excel has properly imported my data into my spreadsheet. Okay, now let's try to import a .txt file with an unfamiliar delimiter. To do this, let's go to Data, from text CSV, go to our Downloads, and then choose the TXT import. When we click Import, something's a little different than when we imported our TSV. We actually see that this data is not properly separated into its columns. Why might this be? It's because the data that I'm trying to import uses unfamiliar delimiters, this bracket here, instead of anything that's common like a tab or a comma or a semicolon. So in order to import this data, I'm just going to click Load. And now I'm going to use a feature called Text to Columns in order to split this text into columns. To do this, I first highlight all the data that I want to split. Then I go to Data, and then go to Text to Columns. When I click on it, this Text to Column wizard pops up. We are using delimited data, which means that there is a symbol or a character in between each one of our columns. I click Next, and none of these represent the bracket. And so I actually have to choose as my delimiter Other, and then specify that as my delimiter. I'm going to unclick Tab, click Next, and it looks like Excel has properly split it into its columns. Now I click Finish, and there you go. Using Text to Columns, I was able to split my data into many different columns. That's it for this lecture.